Chat. Pane vakamboriona vakariverenga besides majournalist. Pane vakambosangana nebudget. Yeah. Fazi, mutorerewo rimwe nila. Amuna kumboriona budget. Handiti hamuna kuwana access kwariri kuti muriverenge. But chandiri kuda vachakawira imi makamboatenda mabudget meetings. Chii chamuri kutarisira kuti chinofanira kunge chiri mubudget? It's always been around how this money is used, transparency and accountability in and around that. You may recall them that we still have airtime levy that is supposed to be ring-fenced for health purposes, for health and well-being, but it's not ring-fenced and there are challenges. So the mandatory tax is not a problem. Taxing is not a problem. But how you are going to use our money after taxing, I know you only tax how it's used. It's no longer your baby, but you are the agents that are used to tax. But
then my question is directly to Mr. Masimba. If I quoted you correctly, you mentioned that council schools will be returned to City of Gweru. Is that correct?
correct.
Thank you so much. So that means that from now onwards, we'll find them being audited, like any other facility that is under Gweru City Council, and maybe we'll see some development. But I would really want to commend you for doing that, taking back what actually belongs to you.
Okay, because I'm particularly impressed that there is something going towards education by way of reducing hot sitting funding or revenue. How do you manage to get your resources that will lead towards the improvement as envisaged in your budget?
Distance-centered presentation, but maybe as a recommendation, us as residents, we spend more time with the councillors. So in terms of bridging the communication gap that is there between the local authority and the residents, we would like for the local authority to also equip our councillors with this kind of information, such that when they go to their communities and be asked these questions, they're also in a position to answer. Because at the end of the day, the residents are thinking nothing is being done by the local authority because the representatives that we have don't have this kind of information. So may you kindly make sure that the information is adequate and transparent, and also the feedback mechanisms are open. Thank you.
In terms of education, it is true that during the budget consultations, we talked about increasing the number of primary schools so that we reduce the incidences of hot sitting, where children take turns to go to school in a day. Some go at 8 a.m., at 11 a.m. they finish school, they are playing in the suburbs. Some are starting at 11 a.m. maybe to 2 p.m. Then some start at 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So we have roped in a partner who is going to construct a primary school. You recall that we wanted to construct a primary school in the Mkoba 4 golf course, but you made representations to say we need our sports facilities to remain intact. So we have identified a new place just beyond Mkoba 19, which has another school there, a primary school. So this is going to happen this year, but my understanding is that for now they did not mobilize because of the rain season, but maybe starting from April going forward, we may start to see action in terms of the construction of that primary school that is going to reduce the instances of hot sitting. So in terms of our own funds, we had allocated something like $20,000 US, which we believe that now that we've got a partner who is going to build a standalone school, the 20,000 can go to build blocks on our 4 existing schools. From our research that we did, takaona kuti there are kunema anonzi prefabs prefabs are cheaper, which means in the short term we can opt for prefabs and have more blocks than brick and mortar, because brick and mortar seems to be expensive to construct. But the prefab, for 20,000, you can get 3 blocks, same 2 classrooms each, which means each school can get a block of these prefabs, and then it can go a long way in unlocking space for our children. The other thing that we've done in education is that we have identified several pieces of land that are demarcated for primary schools, and we will soon be advertising, inviting private players who have got free funds to come and do a joint venture with the city in provision of these schools. Why want to do a joint venture? The city will provide the land, they provide the infrastructure, they recover their money over an agreed period of time, then the infrastructure is handed over to the local authority, so that we put a cap on the fees that can be charged, because primary education has to be accessed almost by everyone. But if we then privatize it, it means the fees that are going to be charged on those schools, the majority of people will not be able to pay the fees. So basically, this is what is in your budget. I avoided figures and concentrated more on what you can expect in the budget. I know that you've got a tracking tool, so you can take these items that we said are going to be covered in the 2025 budget. So the other thing that we're going to do in terms of schools is to return the schools to under the direct management of the local authority. What we're doing at the moment is that the SDCs are running the schools, and the city was not doing anything in terms of those schools. But we saw that from the time we handed them over, we haven't seen any development in terms of infrastructure. Tongonzwa kuti malevhi abhadharwa, but chaitwa nemalevhi kuda kutenga mabhazi things like that. You may have all the buses you want, but as long as vana vachita hot city, to us it's not development oriented. So we are returning them back so that we can build more blocks and also build more schools. And our target is to reduce the incidences of what city. So these are the interventions that are in the 2025 budget going forward. So I'm sure my 15 minutes are gone. Thank you.
No, thank you for thanking me. So I think we are good to go. Jared, any parting words?
Nothing much, Sally, but just to thank our stakeholders for taking time to be with us today. You know, for this project to be a success, you really need to be on the table, so that when they proffer their solutions or what they think are solutions, we'll be able to challenge them. You know, if we are able to challenge them, we are able to perfect them together. Because at the end of the day, what we want is to transform the lives of the people that we are representing, or people that we are working within our communities. So we don't take it for granted. Our government officials, the city council, the academic and the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority, we don't take it for granted that we have managed to spend more than 3 hours, I think, with us here. It means a lot for us as an organization, because we want to transform our communities. And for us to be able to do that, we need to work with the government, we need to work with local authorities, we need to work with the CSOs and the general members of our communities, so that we get the solutions that we want. So I just want to thank everyone.